So my name is Faye Burch, and I actually, believe it or not, was named after my dad. It was an old name for men, Faye, Carol, the like. So my name is Faye, short for Fayetta. I've been in the construction trades for about 25 years. So my family was in Portland. My dad to work on the railroad. My mom was a homemaker, and she worked in some of the local establishments in Portland, like Neighborhood Bills. We grew up on Williams Avenue. My sister and I were real involved with the business district in the area, simply because our grandparents, one of the places we'd stop was the pool hall, and they would give us all the change off the floor. That was a lot to us, and we'd have fun. They knew us by name. Some of those properties that we no longer have in the community, but I would love to see become a part of what the community owns. So my dad bought our house, my dad and my mom, and they were unable to get a loan, so they used a Jewish friend to purchase our house, and my dad paid him back. And houses weren't that much then, but you couldn't get a loan, and you couldn't buy certain property because you were Black. So, I never would have been interested in the field, except for, I would say, well, I'll go back a little bit. In 1987, I was working with Margaret Carter, and one of her chief bills was the bill to create the Office of Minority Women in ESBs. So she got it from some of her state representative national conferences. And so it was something Congresswoman Waters and others of her friends and colleagues were doing. And she said, we ought to do this in Oregon. And it was so needed. Bill McCoy took the lead, Senator Bill McCoy, so that was great. And his staff person and I worked on creating the office. Well, then later, I got a call from Governor Roberts' office as she was elected that she wanted to work for me. So I was a senior policy advisor, but I had responsibility for the certification office, learned a lot about business, and because I worked in the office, a lot of folks would call me and ask me for support. I would do a lot of stuff with the certification staff so that they were out there and available to people. These people really need help. I think I've met a lot of people. I think I've made a lot of relationships, and I think I can bring them to the table to help a lot of people. I used to probably be a union naysayer because I grew up in a time where you couldn't get in the union if you were Black, if you had a relative in there. I remember when Keith Edwards got in the union, and he took a couple folks with him, and they joined electrical. And Donna Hammond. And we're like, what in the world is this? How'd they get in there? Because people just had, little mediocre jobs, not jobs that we're going to give them a payout at retirement, or we're going to $35 an hour, and these kinds of things. The union's just like everybody else. I think there's a small group of people who think the movement, the empowerment of people will take away their work. But the truth is, there's so much work that just a small group can't do it, and they need people like Constructing Hope and Oregon tradeswomen and a number to be able to complete their projects. Yeah, I think I've always been attracted to challenges, and always look for a tough one, and always look for ways to serve the community. And what I knew and what I saw, I knew was wrong, and that we could do better, and we should do better. I really would say construction is one of the most discriminated occupations that there is. You may see a small piece of people doing work. You may see their signs, but it's nowhere like it should be. It's nowhere in terms of a percentage of the overall. It would be very minute. And even when they are included on projects like the city, and I don't mean to speak poorly of them because they're really trying hard. They've got a new procurement director, and they're trying to find out where the problems are, and they're doing very well with it. But if you see a goal of 22% minority, that really, in minority, there are 8 different groups. There are 4 groups of men and 4 groups of women, and they're all vying for that one opportunity. So I mean, they might have 1.25% of an entire $300 million project. So that's not very many people. That's not very much opportunity. I think people, as a result of my work and others, are starting to talk more, starting to work together more, but they still don't share with them the work opportunities that they should have. I think some of my early work with TriMet and with Stacy and Whitbeck, I'll name them because they are a great contractor working with people. We made some huge strides. Bruce Watts was also part of it, an initial part of it, hired by TriMet. And we were able to really build some big opportunities for people and also see people where they would go to the next level and get support for them. So if a contractor, minority contractor, went to work for this particular company, they would always come out better on the other side. And one thing I'm also proud of in terms of a project was bringing together a lot of minorities around the Elks Lodge. And I know now it's kind of destroyed, and hopefully it will live again in the future. That was one of the few remaining Black-owned buildings in the community. I'm on the opposite end, so to speak, from people who build. So I think my legacy is getting it right, making sure that as many people as possible have opportunity. I never say no. I never say no to Black and brown people if they need help. They call me at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, okay. And I try to, if I can help them. If not, I refer them to somebody else. There's a lot little things that they don't understand, and with a little bit of help, they can do it. I've matched people up with an opportunity. I think I should be a matchmaker. You know, when I was at State of Oregon, I actually did that for bureau heads and some things that we did. It was quite funny. And they're like, Faye suggested these? Okay. So I think my legacy will be that people had opportunities, people grew in their trade, and people are accepting leadership. They value their community. They accept civic responsibility, because I think that's a part of it. They do beautiful work, and for me, it was great to be able to show it at places like the Elks and stuff to broadcast their work opportunities.